Good evening, world. Well, depending where you are, when you are, where you live, what time you're watching, if you're watching this back, good morning, good day, good afternoon, good twilight. How many others can we squeeze in there? If you're an insomniac and got up in the wee small hours, what's that called? I don't know the right term for that. Technically morning, post midnight, but I honestly don't feel it counts as morning if it's in the very wee small hours. Should have its own word. Probably does. Language is like that. There are words for everything. It's one of my favorite jokes about language when someone comes up with a word for something and someone's being a pedant goes, "That's made up word." And the response is, all words are made up, okay? Someone at some point made up the word. Or like Homer Simpson when Lisa explains the term schadenfreude to Homer, and Homer goes, "Ooh, those Germans, they have a word for everything." And that was such a good multi-layered joke because like Homer's excitement at discovering the term schadenfreude, but saying Germans have a word for everything. Well, yeah, they do. That's how language works. People have words for things. But anyway, good morning to you, Dingle Doodle. 11 a.m.sies for you, 8 p.m.sies for me. And Justin and Kirsten, hello. Folks in the timeline, this started off by stirring up my blood orange. I mean, I guess I could, I'm basically using this blood orange juice as a cordial. This is mostly lemonade. Guess I could just drink the blood orange juice straight, but it's so strong, basically. Justin, my view on what happened to Vic Labour. Fucking interesting is what I reckon it is. Like, fuck that guy that they gave the ass to. But yeah, this was planned for. Like someone knew this guy was going to say shit they could get him for. And so they were recording his conversations. It's and because he's from the recordings, he's clearly anti Dan Andrews, and he's clearly a fucking piece of shit as well. And so it was kind of like, this guy's fucked, and he's all for himself, and will never be anything positive in the party. He'll only ever be a negative. We need to get rid of him. Let's give him enough rope to hang himself. Lo and behold, he did. Hello, Catherine, Invisible Chicken. Nice to see you. For anyone who doesn't pay that much attention to Australian politics, the Victorian politics specifically, a government minister was outed by The Age and 60 Minutes, saying a whole bunch of really vile, offensive, misogynist, homophobic things. And, oh, yeah, he was involved in branch stacking, which may not be actually a criminal act, although it might be, but it's certainly, poor form. And but the main focus is, he said all this obnoxious shit. And so he's been sacked and kicked out of the Labor Party, which is what he fucking deserves. And two of his cronies resigned from the ministry as well. It's shenanigans, political shenanigans. That's what's happening. We're having a bloody big bout of shenanigans. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting. And it's hilarious to see the Murdoch media giving themselves herniated discs with the amount of reach they're doing, because they fucking hate Dan Andrews. So they're trying to make it like this is a disaster. This shit's going to blow over. I mean, it's not great, but it's going to blow over. The idea that, this is in any way a threat to Dan Andrews is ridiculous, unless something else comes out we don't know about. Yes, Justin, that's the basic summary. Branch stacking is getting bogus memberships in a party branch so you can control the way the votes go. Now, technically speaking, they're not fake members, but they're people who had no interest in being in the party, but someone who's trying to grab all the votes gets a bunch of people to agree to sign a membership form. Usually this person will pay all the memberships. And this dick shit, he was actually recorded going to an ATM, getting out a bunch of cash and handing the cash and a bunch of membership forms to a staffer to go off and process. So the people who are signed up in these memberships, they have no actual interest in the party or whatnot, which is what a legit branch member has. Legit branch member is someone who's deeply invested in what the party's doing, and they think these things are important. And this is just like some power broker within the party rounds up a bunch of people who agree to go along with them and vote whichever way they're doing, and control a branch, which then can ultimately control pre-selection. It's a fun fact, Prime Minister Scotty from marketing, the only reason he is in Parliament is a whole bunch of fuckery that the Liberal Party did, including branch stacking, where there was a sitting member in the seat that Scummo now represents, and he was quite solidly in that seat, but Scummo and the power brokers who wanted him in decided, no, Scummo's going there. So they stacked the membership of the branch and voted out the guy who'd been nominated as a member for that seat and put Scummo in. So it's a pretty widespread thing. Hey, Lionsbader, how's it going? Well, Dingle Dory, I'm glad I've been able to inform you on some Australian politics in my very impartial, objective, and unbiased way. Anything I've ever said about politics in Australia is simple, unvarnished truth, not in any way coloured by any sort of bias or political persuasion. I pride myself on never letting emotion get into my arguments, always purely factual. When I call someone a cunt, it's not emotional. It's actually an objective evaluation of them. Sire, I need to practice your name, Sir Lumi. And Bex, hello to you as well. Oh, everyone's rocking in. So, as you can tell, well, I don't know if you automatically know, but if you've been paying attention, if I dress like this, I'm going to make a video. I'm going to make a cocktail video, because this is how I've decided I dress for my cocktail videos. I didn't for the first, I don't know, half dozen or so, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't remember when I started to, because I think I started it was like a formal Friday on the live stream, and I decided, I don't know, I like the look, and this is how I dress for the cocktail videos now. So Friday is Martini Day. So I'm going to make some martinis tonight. Invisible Chicken's doing an assignment. Ooh, Sir Lumi is making cinnamon biscuits. Nice. Tell you, one of the many treats I've been getting in this lockdown world of ours, with us spending more time in the house and cooking stuff. Young Was Angry did the cliche things of getting into sourdough and bread baking, but she also every now and then makes these cinnamon scrolls that are fucking great. They're very good. I mean, her bread and sourdough was good too. Cinnamon scrolls, yum-o. Yes, Invisible Chicken. I'm getting I haven't had to repeat a tie yet. This is one of my Cat in the Hat ties. I don't know if anyone recognizes the fish in the bowl. Down, you won't see it, but see, it's the Cat in the Hat. But because of the vest, you don't see that. I'll tuck that back in. So yes, my rather massive tie collection. Justin, something people don't realize, Bernie Sanders effectively attempting to take over the Democratic Party. He's already taken over Democrats abroad. Sanders's time is done and gone now. If he doesn't realize it, and I hope he realizes it, the political movement that was supporting him will realize that it is time for him to step aside. Hopefully, time for him to mentor and support some rising star of the left to try and reinvigorate the Democratic Party. So, we shall see what happens in the next however many years. But, Kirsten, if you are paying attention, if you haven't gone off to do something, I did want to get your advice on martinis, essentially around the gins I'm going to use, because I'm going to do gin martinis. Could do vodka martini, but I recently did a video on the James Bond Vesper martini, which is gin and vodka. It's fucking deadly. Okay, Kirsten. So, Kirsten, I'm going to do all Aussie martinis. So the gins I have are Applewood and the 3 Tiny Bear ones. So the Doctor, the Spicy Gypsy, and the Navy Strength. So I guess I'm going to do one from each distillery. So I am going to do one with the Applewood. But of the Tiny Bear ones, which one do you think is best suited to a martini? The Doctor, the Gypsy, or the Sailor? Because that's the kind of colour what I do. So, Justin, if what you mean by Sanders trying to take over the party internally is to get rid of these fucking establishment hacks and get actual progressive people more prominently into the Democratic Party, I'm a number one all for that, because the establishment of the Democratic Party sucks the proverbial. Oh, I wasn't even going to do a garnish. I almost never do garnishes. I think there are some olives here somewhere. Let me check. I think actually Mrs. Angry was marinating some olives. Why is this doing that? So weird. Olives. Okay, I'll be back in a second. I need to ask something. Hey, gorgeous. What's this that's formed on the top of that? Is that like literally just olive oil that's solidified, or is that something better?
I think it's olive oil.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's what I thought.
Why are you going to do it?
Martini.
Martini.
Yeah. All right, so choices. I've got marinated olives, or I could do a lemon peel garnish. I suppose I could do one of each. Oh, well, Justin, if that's what Sanders is trying to do, before and seriously, yeah, where you need more progressives in the Democratic Party, the people. This is my naive opinion. Voters need both local Congress people, their representatives, and their state senators to be people they can be excited by. And I think that's how you can reinvigorate the Democratic Party, by just having the Congress representatives and the Senate representatives more and more of them be people that people can be excited by. Okay, so the Sailor with the lemon. Oh, vermouths I have. I have the Regal Rogue Bright White, which I guess is a sweet vermouth. The Maiden Eye Classic, and the limited edition sweet vermouth I got from Applewood. So I suppose, I don't know, if I'm going to be consistent, I should do the Applewood gin with the sweet vermouth from the Applewood. Or you're supposed to use dry vermouth. I don't know. See, I'm going to lie. Use the classic. Okay. The Gypsy is a dirty martini. Well, I was going to. Okay, here's another thing I was toying with, but I don't know if I'm being like too clever. And I was thinking of like doing a pretty significant variation on a martini, like throwback to the roots of Geneva, and actually have Okar Gold and vermouth in the cocktail. So, Kirsten, you think I should only use dry? I know aficionados would say and use dry vermouth in martini. I'm hardly a fucking purist, though. But maybe that's getting too fussy. I could just do two martinis with different gins, just to highlight the fact that the ingredients you choose completely change the drink. I mean, it's still a martini, but tastes totally different. So yes, I don't know how much I should worry about being a purist and how much I should sort of fake or cheat when I'm making it, because who the hell knows what I've really done when I do something. It's the secrets of the camera and the video editing. Could be up to anything. See, again, this is where my personal taste comes in. I'm not going to drink enough vermouth to have a whole bunch of different. Although now I have got 3 vermouths. Oh, actually, if you fucking count the what is it, Cinzano? I've got 4 vermouths. Although I think the Cinzano is a bit old. But yes, because I'm not that into the dry side of things, so I never bothered to get a dry vermouth. So yes, I don't know if I'm going to worry about offending purists. I mean, offending people is a thing I do generally. Might as well offend cocktail people as well. I offend everyone else. So that's maybe. Is it? I could do. What could I do? Yeah. See, I'm just toying with all these things. There are so many moving parts for an on paper simple drink. The martini is complicated because you can vary every bloody aspect of it. I was on the Difford site, and I was looking at their guide to making martini. It's this one, a gin salad martini. What makes it a gin salad dry martini? London style gin vermouth bitters. Okay. Yeah, I was looking at the things like, because you can vary what the base spirit is. It can be gin or vodka. You can vary the method. It can be stirred, shaken, or if you've got stuff in the freezer so it's nice and cold, just a direct pour into the glass. You can radically change the ratio, and they list the 10 most common ratio, 10 variations. You can change, they call the seasoning. You could have orange bitters or brine or sherry. God, I wouldn't mind putting a bit of sherry in, actually, as a seasoning, just a splash. And you can vary the garnish. The traditional garnishes are an olive, a lemon zest, onion, caperberry, all these things. So even just with those, what they list as the main variations, that's thousands of possible different drinks coming out of that. And that's not even taking into account if you change the type of gin or type of vodka or type of vermouth you're using. That changes the profile of the drink as well. So when you take those variables into account, you get into the millions, if not billions, of potential combinations that make a martini. And that's before you even get into fiddly shit, like an espresso martini or a chocolate martini, or all the little variations and twists people do. That's staying with a straight martini. You can have millions of combinations, which is wild. Hey ho, Annette, how are you this fine evening? So, how to make a dry martini? Obviously, see, there's a little article here on the martini cocktail and its evolution. The Bradford is bitters, lemon, gin, vermouth, shaken. Yeah. Yeah, looking at the history of this, bitters, syrup even, gin, vermouth. And they're saying, this is interesting, this 1904 recipe says a dry martini is one without the syrup, whereas when people say dry now, they mean less vermouth, down to basically no vermouth. Bone dry is like with a mist of vermouth. So people have been toying with this for a long time. Hello, Mega Leech, how are you? Yes, Corey's cat Sparta died, which is obviously had a huge impact on him. If you don't know who we're talking about one of my oldest YouTube friends, Corey Williams, aka Mr. Safety, and many other names. But he actually is responsible for the most viewed cat video on YouTube, which is a song called the Mean Kitty Song. And it was just, he used to make joke songs all the time, and I don't think he thought this was going to be any being quite successful. I don't think he thought this one would be any bigger than any of the others, because he got a kitten, and it was a pretty aggressive kitten, and so they called it Sparta. And he wrote this song called the Mean Kitty Song, which is very cute, and he did a cute video for it. And yes, viewed friggin' hundreds of, yes, sadly, Annette, mean kitty died. Some apparently very painful health complications, and so he had to be put down. Yeah, so Corey's been understandably upset about that. I just looked it up, saying it's 91 million views on YouTube. So yeah, that's pretty good for just a funny little song, and of course, it's probably spiraled into lots more people going back and rewatching and commenting on it now. So yeah, a little bit of YouTube history, little sad note in YouTube history. So yeah, so Corey is understandably devastated by this because I had a little Sparta for a long time. I just realized I just had it open and I forgot when it went up. It went up September 5, 2007. So Sparta was basically 13 years old. Mimsy's older. We don't know exactly how old Mimsy is, but she's probably at least 2 years older than that. Yeah, so that video went live almost 13 years ago. And yes, poor Sparta died this week. Lines better. Another celeb cat died recently. A cat which travelled by bicycle with its owner. There you go. Celebrity cats. It was like Grumpy Cat died a couple of years ago. Grumpy Cat actually only had a couple of years of fame before dying. Sorry, now we're just talking about cats, celebrity cats and dying. All right. It was very weird when the first big YouTuber died. And I guess it depends what you're into, who you think that was. But yeah, when and I mean someone who died young as well, and it was a big shakeup. It's one of those animation channels who I'd sort of pick as I can't remember the name of the channel now, but yeah. Yes, that's the thing that happens. Hey, do you want to know how many dead people are in my videos on YouTube? Because it's a lot. Not saying you're cursed if you go in my videos, but if I start adding it up, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got to 6. Yeah, Ed's World. That's what I was thinking of, Ding Doodle. You know what I was talking about, yeah. Okay, I'm up to 6 dead people in my videos. There could be more because I try not to dwell on it. But and that's not counting it, Aidsy. I'm not cheating and counting him just because he's died. I could count him twice because he's died twice since he's been on my channel. So. But that would be cheating, so I don't count him. So without counting Aidsy, I can think of 6. And these are all people who died young too, mostly through health complications. And many of them were a surprise. It was quite unexpected. But yeah, mostly health. Was there anyone else? What a weird conversation to get onto. But yeah, it's a thing I'm somewhat conscious of, that it's weird how many people have died subsequent to being on my YouTube channel. So Ugh, watch out. Oh, Dieter von Teese's cat died, 15 plus. But I think that's more the cat of a celebrity rather than a celebrity cat. I like that, Dingle Dirty. Your memories are weird in you crap in social engagement, but you remember YouTube trivia. Nice. Oh, okay, Invisible Chicken. I think Facebook friend lists are different because, particularly as you get older, it's just natural. But oh wow, gosh, that is arcane YouTube memories, Dingle Dirty. The drama between Zen Archer and Greg Solomon. The early days of YouTube drama when it didn't involve fascism. It was just personalities. These days, the YouTube drama is about fucking neo-Nazis and fascists and just horrible, horrible bigots who try to dress up their bigotry with clever language, but they're just fucking horrible bigots. Damn. So, Lance Butter, I was on one of yours from Darling Harbour. No one dies on yours, or Sanity died. Maybe. Oh, you almost made me think of no, I don't think he's dead. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, but just really quickly off the top of my head, I could think of 6 people who have died subsequent to not straight after my video, but they've been on at least one of my videos. In many cases, multiple ones, and they've died, which is weird. Again, if they died of old age, that would be one thing. None of them died of old age. Most of them did die because of medical conditions, but they were all young, which is really unsettling. And by young, I mean under 50. Most of them were under 30. So, ooh, spooky. I was going to change the subject and go back to... So, Kirsten, do you think I'm perverting martinis too much if I use a sweeter vermouth in them? I'm actually going to really quickly... Sweet vermouth martini. See what comes up if I do that. Original martini, a sweet martini. Okay, Difford's does have a sweet martini. What's in a sweet martini? Yeah, sweet. Okay. I feel vindicated, but lots of gin and just half a shot of sweet vermouth. I feel vindicated that that's on Difford's. I'm going to do one sweet and one with a classic. Yes, Siluma, I'm, well, I don't know, haunted, but cursed, I think. I think you could get away with calling my YouTube channel cursed for the number of people who died on it. Some other people would say it's cursed for other reasons. Okay, again, deferring to your gin knowledge, Kirsten, of the gins I have, so that's the Applewood and the 3 Tiny Bear ones, which one would go better with a sweet vermouth? See, Ding Doty, there are lots, as I found by a quick search, there are lots of martini recipes and quite classic martini recipes that do have sweet vermouth. Like, God, one of the old ones that I just saw in research had sugar syrup in it. But yes, the sauce, the applewood. Okay, that would actually work because I got the sweet vermouth from the applewood pack as well. I'll do applewood and their sweet vermouth. What's it called again? It's the Unico Yuzu Sweet Vermouth. And then I'll do Tiny Bear and Classic. So, but now I've got to toss up whether I do Navy Strength with lemon twist, or you were suggesting, Kirsten, that the gypsy might lend itself to a dirty martini, as in the olive added to it. Catherine, you think the people are dying to keep AIDS alive? I think it's possibly AIDS has stolen their souls. He's stolen their life energy, and that's the reason why he's alive against all odds, because he actually steals the life essence from other people. I think a case could be made for that. Lines, but they didn't die on my channel. They were on my channel, and they died sometime subsequent to being on my channel. Only one was a regular. And in fact, the last video with him went up after he died because it was very unexpected. And we'd been in a park in the city making video only a week or two before he died. And so yeah, then I had to finish editing the video, or I chose to finish editing the video after I'd found out he died, which his mum really liked. His mum liked that he'd been happy. He was particularly AIDSy, he was like a protege of AIDSy's, and he had been a troubled youth, and he'd really got his shit together under AIDSy's guidance, and his mum was very philosophical that, the last year, it was obviously far too young, because he was only, I think he wasn't even 25. And, like his last year was the happiest he'd been in a long time. So, that was a saving grace. Visible Chicken, if he does steal the life energy soul, what type of being is AD? He's a type of undead or possibly demon, but maybe a lich. There's there's a fun Google search. What undead steals life energy? What does Google say? Oh, it's just fucking done a bunch of books, and of course vampires steal life force. So he could be seen as a type of vampire. I think he'd like that. But yeah, I don't know, a vampire or a lich. Dingletoe, you think he might be an anti-succubus? Yes, Megalichi could be a wraith. Sounds like a thing a wraith would do. Wraiths are like really angry ghosts. All right. So I think I know what I'm going to make. I'm going to make applewood with a sweet vermouth. And do I want to put an olive in? This is a question. Do I want to do? Yeah, I'll do the applewood with a lemon twist, and I'll do the Tiny Bear with an olive. Right. Got to get Gotta get. Now, okay. Now the split on how much vermouth and how much gin, what ratio? There's this listing of the most common ratios. There's actually what they call a reverse martini, which is twice as much vermouth as gin, with a sopping wet martini, 2 parts gin to 1.5 parts vermouth, a 50-50, which is pretty obvious, 1 gin, 1 vermouth. A wet martini is 2 parts gin to 1 part vermouth. And then you go, 3 to 1, 5 to 1. Ooh, Difford's prefers 5 to 1. So that's 2.5 ounce to 0.5 ounce. Okay, Kirsten, you think 60-15 as well. Okay. Oh, you think I should use Sailor with a lemon twist? Okay. Well, I'm not going to put an olive in the sweet one. I'll probably do a lemon twist in that as well. All right. I need to get a couple things. So hang on while I grab a couple things. Alrighty, got my camera. Let me put my audio thing in here. So I suppose the only question is, does anyone want to join in the live chat and keep things going while I make the video? Or will I actually just keep this running and you can see me mess up my lines while I make a video? Food for thought. I'll just finish setting up. Right. Let's go. Hey ho, let's go. That's the peeler I want. I'm going to stir it, so I want my stirring glass. Hey ho, let's go. I mean, I could use my lemon wine infused vodka, gin for that matter. Which one? We're going Sailor. Okay, Applewood for a start. Almost knocked over a decanter. I would have been so fucking pissed off if I did that. Be careful. Where's the Sailor? There's the Sailor. Yeah. The Sailor. Get my vermouths out of the fridge. Need I? All right, gins, mixing glass. This goes here. What was I saying? Happy to watch the uncut video. Okay, I'll do things. Okay, I want ice in my mixing glass. Get that ready. Okay. I need glasses. Which glasses will I use? Right, I want to use two the same. Got a couple slightly different martini glasses. Use these ones. Okay. Couple of martini glasses. Okay. So I'm going to do 2.5 ounces gin to 1/2 ounce of vermouth. Yeah, you're going to watch me mess up. Okay. I'm going to try not to be too. I'm going to do my top button up so I look professional. It's my professional home bartender look. We've got dress standards in the Angry Bar. Okay. What was that? I think I actually need to pull that down from the bottom. God damn it. What's this damn tie doing? Well, I was about to say I should never have pulled it out to show you the cat in the hat, but I need to show you the cat in the hat. Okay, so yeah, didn't do the top button up properly. Okay, go on, get your shit together, son. Better get a lawyer, son. Better get a real good one. Better get a lawyer, son. Gonna need a good one. Get you out of this one. Right, I should move some shit I don't need as a distraction. I'm going to put the olives back because I'm not going to use them. Got some lemons over here because I was at the supermarket today. Okay, this plastic bag is not a thing you just casually rip. Need some scissors, cut it open. All right. And a lemon that I can do some peels off. No, this one never bloody peels properly for me. Need a different peeler. This one works a bit better for me. Okay, so yeah, look, I'll point the thing up so you can see me while I'm doing it. See me looking silly. Applewood sweet vermouth. Might make the sailor one first. Right. Right. Ready to go. Oh, is my camera still framed up right? No, it's pointing in a slightly wrong direction. Let's fix that up. And I got to close the back curtain so I don't get reflections. Right, did this table move? All right. Fucking hell. God. I almost knocked everyone. Ooh, look out. It's all dark and then it auto adjusts for me coming in. Thank you for the turn off the fridge line. Yes. All right. Yes, and it recognized Tex Perkins. Better get a lawyer, son. Right. All right, I think I'm ready to go. Let's rock and roll. G'day, cocktail lovers. How are you? I hope you've been well. Guess what? June the 19th is World Martini Day. That makes it fairly easy for me to decide what to do a video about. Now, I recently did do a video on the famous James Bond Vesper Martini, which diverges quite a lot from what's regarded as a traditional martini. For this video, I'm going to make a couple of variations on pretty traditional martini recipes. The interesting thing is the amount of variation in martini recipes. As someone who says a martini is one thing and says, I'm an expert and I know this is what a martini is, they're portraying they know very little about martinis, because it's a weird drink. Because to me, when I look at it, on one level, it's a very simple drink. It's gin or vodka as the base spirit and vermouth. That's pretty simple. But you can vary the amounts of gin and vermouth to all sorts of degrees, and it's still a martini. You can prepare it different ways: stirred, shaken, or if you're taking nice cold spirits straight out of the freezer, just pour it straight into the glass. You can season it. Some people like some orange bitters in there, or some other additives as seasoning. And of course, there's garnishes, olives, lemon peel, all sorts of things are used as garnish. I was looking at the Difford's Guide website, fairly authoritative cocktail website, and they have quite an interesting and detailed history of the martini. And what it comes down to is, even with the basic, the most common variations of base spirit and the ratios and the garnish and the preparation, etc., there are thousands of variations on a martini before you even start getting tricky and fussy. Like, all the flashy ones, like an espresso martini or a chocolate martini, or all these tiny variations with additives and whatnot that go beyond just being a spirit and vermouth. Without even worrying about those, there's thousands of variations. And then taking into account the gins in particular, there are so many thousands of gins in the world that all have their own flavor profile. So a martini is going to taste different with each gin that's in it and with each vermouth that's in it. So at that stage, you're into the millions, if not billions, of variations of things that will still be a martini. So maybe don't obsess too much about how you make it. It's a simple base drink that can be enjoyed in a simple way, or you can do a bit of flair and come up with a few additives. It's had quite a few changes to its recognized recipe over the years, but I'm going to do relatively straightforward martinis, but I'm going to use different spirits and vermouths, which I expect to produce really different drinks, even though they're still martinis. I'm going to start off with one that uses a gin from an Australian distillery called Tiny Bear. This is a Navy strength gin, so 58% alcohol. An average gin's about 40%, or 40 to 50. So Navy strength is the serious stuff. This is one that I'd seriously considering shaking the cocktail, because when people say, oh, you don't shake a martini, there are two reasons people object to shaking martinis. One is it dilutes the drink more than stirring does, and it can also aerate it. So a lot of classic martinis are a really nice, visually clear drink. And if you shake it, it's going to be cloudy for a while, at least till it clears. Honestly, with a Navy strength, a little bit of dilution wouldn't go astray. But I think I'll be brave and I will just do it stirred. The other gin I'm going to use is another Australian gin. All Aussie martinis in this video. This is from the Applewood Distillery. This is a 43% gin, so not as fierce as the Tiny Bear Sailor gin. And I'm going to pair this with a a sweet vermouth, which some people would say is sacrilege, but it's made by the same people. It's a yuzu-infused sweet vermouth. So this will be the Applewood Martini. And with the Tiny Bear, I'm going to use a different Australian vermouth, Maiden Eyes Classic Vermouth. And these are going to give, while theoretically both martinis, they're going to be quite different drinks. In terms of ratio, I'm going to make these fairly dry martinis. In other words, leaning heavily on the gin. I'm going to go 60 mils of gin to 15 mils vermouth. You can do more or less depending on your taste, but that's a fairly classic delineation. So that's 60 mils or 2 ounces of gin, and there will be 15 mils or half an ounce of vermouth going in. Besides being a sweet vermouth, this Unico vermouth that I got from Applewood is also quite a strong colour. So this is going to be a rather colourful martini. Time to give it a stir. In case you can't tell, I edit out the stirring because I think it's boring. You need to get smaller ice cubes for this thing, or a bigger glass. It's really awkward to stir. That's probably enough. Straining this into a martini glass. And there we have our sweet martini. Okay. Moving on to our Navy Strength and much drier martini. Here we go with 60 mils or 2 ounces of the Sailor Tiny Bear's Navy Strength gin. And we're having half an ounce, 15 mils of Maiden Eyes Classic Vermouth in this one. You want to stir your martini for 20-30 seconds. You really want to get it nice and chilled. And a little bit of dilution doesn't hurt. Like I said, I was leaning towards actually shaking this one Navy Strength because I'm a bit of a wuss and I could do with a teeny tiny bit of dilution in this, I think. There's a range of quite traditional garnishes for martinis. Use cocktail onions, olives, capers. I'm going to go with a lemon twist. Just simple, peel off a nice strip from the lemon, and I'm going to express some of the oils over the top of the martini and give it a little twist and just drop it in. I am not very fussy with doing garnishes on cocktails, but a martini is one that kind of needs it. Ooh, actually looks so good when the oil goes into the martini. Actually see it goes spritz. See a little oil spray so you get this citrus nose on top. And and now it's time for the double fisting taste test. I feel like I haven't been doing enough double fisting on the channel recently. So we'll go at once. I'm going to go with the sweet martini first because I might get overpowered by the Navy Strength one. So here it goes. You do get that really nice citrus aroma from having spritzed the lemon peel in here. But for a taste, that works really well. I am not hugely into drinking gin on its own. I'm not a real gin aficionado. And this is mostly gin, but just the ½ ounce of the vermouth in this one has really brought some balance in there. And I'm a big fan of the citrus in there as well. Hey, maybe you like salty. A lot of people like the dirty martini. Sometimes not just with the olive, but also olive brine in the drink. That's a filthy, dirty martini if you go putting a shot or half a shot of olive brine in there as well. Now it's time for me to be brave and try the martini with the Navy Strength gin. Oh, also good, but again, it's a really different drink. The sweet vermouth, the yuzu sweet vermouth from Unico that's in this one has a much more fruity tone, whereas this one with the Maiden Eye Classic vermouth in here, the lemon really comes forward. I think the sweet vermouth is swamping the lemon a tiny bit in this one. This one is much brighter. It's got a really sharp. Yeah, I was a bit scared of the Navy Strength gin, quite honestly, and you can really tell this is a higher proof gin in this one. But again, it's all about the balance. Having some vermouth in there as well, and the lemon twist has just taken the edge off the gin, and it's worked really well. I'm not a huge martini drinker, but there's a reason it's a classic that's been around in one form or another for well over a century, because you can adjust it to your tastes. There are a whole bunch of little twists and tricks you can do with it. Find out what works for you. My big advice, if you're ever ordering a martini in a bar and you're not a martini person, you can either just go with the bartender's recommendation, but understand the difference. If you're not seriously into gin, you probably don't want a really dry martini. And hey, if you like olives, get a dirty martini. But yes, be aware if they say, do you want it dirty? That means salty. So if that doesn't sound appealing to you, don't get that. Lemon twist is a lovely little twist. You know, a little bit of orange bitters, which I didn't use in these, but a lot of people do. That would bring a whole different element as well. For something that we think is straightforward, the martini, there is a lot of complexity in there, and there's a lot to like in there. And even if you think you don't, you could probably find a variation that you would like. So yeah, there we go. World Martini Day, all Aussie martinis. I'm going to enjoy finishing these. I hope you have a jolly beverage or two yourself. Hope you enjoyed seeing these variations in here. And I'm going to try and do much more with Australian beverages in making cocktails. I'm not going to limit myself to Australian producers, but I think people need to know there are some incredibly high quality spirits, vermouths, etc., and liqueurs in Australia. They're well worth your time. But yeah, get local wherever you are. It's a great way. You can feel a little bit better about your drinking. You go, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm a supporter of small business. That line stolen from one of my regulars on live stream, Kirsten, who is definitely going to be on this channel sometime soon. Kirsten works for a whiskey distiller, Starward, and I have some of their products. Kirsten's going to come on. We're going to make some whiskey cocktails. Kirsten's going to explain these out. Kirsten is also very knowledgeable on gin, much more so than me. As we get out of quarantine and we hopefully don't get a resurgence of the Rona, going to be getting more and more people in these videos, I hope. That was always my intention, to have other people in the videos, not just me. But Kirsten and I are definitely going to do it. That will be interesting. I'm actually hoping to get a tour of the Starwood distillery, because it's not far away from where I live. So when the various health precautions allow it, I'm hopefully going to be able to show you the Starwood distillery in Port Melbourne. Something to look forward to. Bit of a divergence from martinis, but hey, that's just how I roll, I guess. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did and you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. And if you are subscribed, tell your friends. They should be subscribed too. You can have a bit of fun and maybe learn a thing or two here. You can ring the little bell so you get notifications. Let me know if there's something in particular you'd like to see in a future video. I'd be very interested, with all the variations on martinis, to hear what your preferred form of the martini is, because everyone's got their own thing. It's all right. You know what a good martini is? A good martini is a martini that you enjoy drinking. Cheers. Yay, I hardly screwed anything up. All right, I now have 2 martinis. I'm just going to switch off my camera. Ugh. Whew. Kirsten, once you go Navy strength martinis, you never go back. I tell you what, so this one with the sweet vermouth, yeah, see, there's no doubt that sweet vermouth is, and that's only, it's like 4 parts gin to 1 part vermouth, and the vermouth slightly overpowering the gin. But this one with a lighter, drier vermouth and a stronger gin. Oh, you know you're drinking this one, I tell you what. Like, I don't know who was here last night. If you remember how I acted when I took a sip of the Rittenhouse Rye, which is only 50% alcohol. It's a rye whiskey. And I just fucking choked when I sipped that. Like, never be drinking that one straight. It's good in cocktails, but never drinking it straight. But this is like, what was it, 68%? 58%, I should say. 58% alcohol gin, and with a drier vermouth and a twist of lemon. Fucking great. Aussie Gun Bunny. I'm doing my James Bond, mate. I'm good. It's Martini night. Friday's Martini Day. I just recorded a video that'll go on my cocktail channel on Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. Yeah, I wouldn't drink martinis all night. Well, because I just like to mix up. If I'm out on the town having a couple of drinkies, I like to mix it up as much as possible. Actually, like if like on an average night out, I'd have like 3 cocktails, maybe 4. And I like to make them different. Like, one's a whiskey one, one's a gin one, one's sweet, one's bitter. Yes, Kirsten, did you like me admitting that I stole your line? I'm not an alcoholic. I'm a supporter of small business. I'm really keen for A, making some cocktail videos, and B, getting a look at the distillery. I reckon, I'm keep going A, B. A, I think it would be fun, and B, I think people would be really interested to see it. So that's a good thing. Dingle-do, you pay attention to cocktail variants. You are wary of the sidecar because you're not into brandy. I swear to God, man, I did not know I assumed I didn't like brandy until I had a sidecar. I forget where I had my first sidecar, but it was on a menu at a place where I was out, and I went, oh, I'll try that. And it was sidecar is one of my go-tos. Probably I just love making different cocktails. But if I was put on the spot and said, you can only have 2 cocktails for the rest of your life, there's a strong chance I'd pick sidecar and whiskey sour. I would hate to be put on that spot, but they're both comparatively simple cocktails, and I just really like them. But I love discovering new ones as well. And every now and then, Safa, can I make a cocktail in a minute? Short answer, yes. Slightly longer answer, depends what cocktail, and depends how good you want it to be. If it's going to be in a minute, it's either going to be a straight pour or a very quick shake, and not a fiddly one. I can make a sidecar in a minute. Just line up the ingredients, because it's brandy, orange liqueur, and lemon juice. So like bam, 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 shake, 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 in the glass she goes. Megaleech, if any of the cocktails I've made, dead serious, man, I should keep a journal. Mrs. Angry actually does for our date nights when we go out somewhere and try cocktails, because it's like half a dozen places we go to. She writes down the cocktails, what's in them, and we give them a score. My personal scoring system is like 6 out of 10. No, that's okay. I don't feel ripped off having got that. 7 out of 10 is good. Like, okay, I like that. That's a good cocktail. 8 out of 10 is I am definitely getting this cocktail again. This is very good. 9+ out of 10 is fuck me, I want another one of these now. And there's a few 9s. Like, some of the places we go to make very good cocktails, and I've rated a few of them 9s, and it's just like I think I've rated. Mrs. Angry's got the notes. I think I rated one 9.5. I was just like, this is the best, but it was really feeling, and I don't actually know. It was like their house special, so I don't actually know what was in it, so I can't recreate it. There was this one. I've got this big bottle of lychee liqueur, which is really strong, and I don't particularly like the taste of it on its own. But there was this one cocktail that had lychee liqueur in it, and it was fucking awesome. And I got some lychee liqueur just to try and recreate that. And what I've worked out is, it's like 5 mils. It needs the tiniest amount of lychee liqueur because it's a really strong flavor. Lion Spider, brandy's good. Stay clear of the cheap method version. You look at my stuff, you think I'm a complete snob. It's all VSOP. The very special old pale. which means it's the base wines that we used to distill the brandy were at least 5 years old. I think VS means 3 years old. VS is very special, means 3 years old. VSOP means 5 years old. And then you can get XO, extra old, which I think is at least 7 or 8 years old, maybe 10. I don't know. But I want to get into. Well, I was just having this conversation in sometime in the last week. I want to, as I'm broadening my Australian supplies, I do want to get an Australian brandy. I have to work out a good Australian brandy that doesn't cost a stupid amount. But yeah, so they're all French, the ones I've got. There's Napoleon brandy. What's the cognac? I've got an Armagnac and a cognac, and they're all VSOP. Which is, again, not because I'm a super snob or whatever. They were all actually pretty good prices. The cognac and brandy both came from Costco. They're good brands, but they were at Costco. Oh, Safa, actual official Martini Day is Friday. I just needed to record the video so I could have it on my cocktail channel on Friday. So Friday is, in fact, Martini Day. If you want, definitely recommend. Kirsten and I are always talking about the Applewood streams with Henry on Facebook. They're doing a Martini masterclass. And that will be between 6:30 and 7:30, or more likely between 6:30 and 8 on Facebook. And if you are at all interested in martinis, that would be well worth your time, because he's going to have, well, Henry himself is pretty knowledgeable, but he's going to have some very knowledgeable bartenders giving a martini masterclass on Friday. So fucking worth it. So I'll be watching that before coming live. L3, evening to you. Lion Spider, beautiful young woman called Brandy with a vibrant personality. Brandy I worked with once. If you would talk to her, well, the men stayed clear because she was eye-catching. Brandy by name, Brandy by nature. So, again, okay, Annette, the best brandy is going to vary depending on your personal taste. Let me have a quick look. Like, just for a laugh, I'll go on Dan Murphy's. And search brandy and see what the range is. Okay. 143. A Martell, that's the one I have. So there, VSOP Red Barrel Cognac Martell, $75. Oh, geez. No, I've got lots. So you see, I'm like a Dan's member. Every now and then this thing, they're like $10 off a bottle of Martell cognac. I think I got it for cheaper than that. So, okay, you got a range here. Okay, you got St. Remy VSOP for $40. And then you've got Martell, which is the one I have, and their base price for that is $85. So that's twice as much as St. Remy. You know, but then you jump straight into stuff that's hundreds of dollars. This brand, Napoleon 1875, says it's VSOP and it's $30. So that's even cheaper than the St. Remy. The Chateau Napoleon, which is the one I have, is $48 at Dan's. Ooh, Jesus, a 1 liter bottle of VSOP French brandy for $40. Dang. Ooh, so Lumi, your cinnamon biscuits are good. L3, you've got an ARAM or PSU problem. Video card wasn't to blame. Maybe a new one got refunded problem. Oh, dude, technical stuff. So that was pretty funny. Dan Andrews going, "Why do you want to go to South Australia?" It was fun. He's just trying to distract people. That was a deliberate. He knew that was an inflammatory thing to say, and he was trying to distract people from the dramas in his own party, which is shrewd politics. So, I mean, I reckon, I don't know if there's anyone who knows brandy better than me. There'd have to be. Oh no, Annette, you went to the Dan Murphy site, you thought you bought stuff, but it was still in your cart. For me, the baseline would probably be this Chateau Napoleon. That's like $48 for a bottle. And there is another one that claims to be a VSOP French brandy that's only $30. I don't know. Now, I think this black bottle, I think that's the Australian one. $35. I think that's Australian. Which one's this? Baronet. Okay. Yeah, you don't really want to ask me about brandies. You want to try and find a brandy expert. This one, black bottle, that's Australian, isn't it? Much loved traditional style brandy, has a smooth and rich character through careful double distilling, aging in oak. Yeah, it's from South Australia. Okay. It's been around for a long time. I think it's fairly popular. When I was looking up Australian brandies, the same people who make that also have an upmarket brandy. It's called like Not Your Grandma's Brandy or something. See, I'm looking at the Summit Dan Murphy's, $25 for that's only a 500 ml bottle. Okay. It's wild. Like, you're looking at brandies and they're ranging from $25 to $300. And it's like, wait, how do I know what to get? Oh, and they have St. Agnes 375 ml bottles for, okay, non-member price is $24. Member price is $18. Yeah, my baseline, I guess, and this is very, it's not knowledgeable, it's very unscientific, is the Chateau Napoleon. To me, that's, we talked before about the diminishing returns. Like, as you pay much more, it might be better, but it's not that much. Like, there's this one called Mikau, $650 for a bottle. Okay, now I'm going to go out on a limb and say that is not objectively 10 times better than the Napoleon. After Kirsten, you think that's the Australian one, 23rd Street, Not Your Nana's Brandy, and you'd recommend that one? Ooh, Ding Judy, you've been debating whether to get Crystal Head's Pride Edition vodka. Ooh, it's aesthetically pleasing. Crystal Head's a pretty good vodka. Like, there are a lot of vodkas I would not drink straight because they're fucking petrol. But Crystal Head is quite smooth. Feeling Taylor, you like the tie? Tonight's tie, Cat in the Hat. Oh, okay, Kirsten, you just don't. You got 200 ml bottle. Yeah, so for me, for no very scientific reason, oh, here it is. Okay, 23rd Street Distillery, Not Your Nana's Brandy for $50. That's a pretty good mid-range price. That's cheaper than Napoleon. God, I reckon I might get some. Wait, do they? I don't think they sell direct from their website. 23rd Street Distillery. Bum, bum, bum. 23rd Street Distillery. I think they point you to stockists if you try and buy it. They have a Not Your Nana's brandy and their upmarket prime brandy. They have a violet gin. Everyone has purple gins these days. Right, so it's won awards, a silver at San Francisco World Spirit Awards, the Australian Distilled Spirits Awards, double gold at San Francisco World Spirit Awards in 2017, bronze at the International Competition 2017, bronze at the Australian. So they're getting better. Yeah. Tasting notes, fruity aromas of oak apricot and rounded spices with the richness of oak tannins. Vanillin sweetness on the front palate gives way to a vivacious honey and apricot, finishing with soft oak spiciness. Okay, yeah, they don't sell direct through their website. They point you to stockists. Not Your Nana's brandy. Okay, so nearby stockists. Who's this? Bangalow Cellars? Ooh, Celebrations. Control. Wait, where is that? On Kooyong Road. So that's more or less local. Wonder how much they sell it for. Who else is there? Oh, there's no one else but... Okay. No one else particularly close. Who's this? In Bentley. Down on the beach. Surfers Bar. Nepean Highway Cellars. I don't know. That seems like a pretty good thing at $50. Yes, Kirsten. Bitches love purple gin. Changes color with citrus, apparently. Ooh, the 23rd Street 200ml range is on. I'm going to Liquorland. If they've got a whole range on special, I'll get some samplers. Damn. Okay, I'm going to look up. Okay, fuck off, Dan Murphy's. Liquorland. Right. Yeah. This is my fucking quest for tomorrow then. Special offer, Squealing Pig wine. Cool. Okay. Wait, where's the fucking search on this website? No, fuck off. I'm not signing up for that. 23rd Street. Not Your Nana's brandy, 200 mils. $27. We'll see. That's saying 27. Um, 32. No, I'd probably be more inclined to go for the full size bottle for $50. Safa, which alcohol store do I visit the most? It is The special. Oh yeah, it's Wednesday. It changed. Damn it! I should have asked this question last week. Damn it! Oh, I feel really annoyed that I missed out now. Oh well. But I might just get the bottle from Dan Murphy's. The alcohol store I visit the most is definitely Dan Murphy's. I buy some stuff direct from suppliers online. Geez, that Navy strength gin lets you know there. And it's not difficult to drink, but it's going down, going like, yeah, I'm not messing about. This is Navy strength. Bloody put some airs on your chest, this will. So, Annette, what was $80 on Catch? I'm intrigued. Because I'm now leaning towards, I'm going to go to Dan Murphy's and get the 23rd Street Distillery. Though I might have to order it online. They might not have it in store. Where's my phone? God, I've actually got the app on the. I resist because they have a customer loyalty card at Dan Murphy's, and I resisted getting one for ages because I was like, "Oh, come on, really? Just give up and tell the world you're an alcoholic if you're gonna have a Dan Murphy's discount card." But then I just noticed they were putting stuff that I wanted to get on special for freaking, 10 and sometimes even $20 off. And the fucking membership card doesn't cost you anything. Okay. And Not Your Nana's at Dan Murphy's is only $50. So Dan Murphy's looks like the go. See if I can find it in here. Yes. Okay. Current. Oh, I don't really want to look at current offers. Spirits. White wine, beer, whiskey, other drinks, cider, accessories, fortified wine. What do I want to do? 23rd Street Distillery. That is interesting. The app is not showing all the products. Hybrid Whiskey, which is an interesting name. Their signature gin. Oh no, Not Your Nana's is there. There you go. What's that little picture on it? Oh, an award winner. Oh, I think I'm going to have to get it. It's 2 years in a mix of French and American oak barrels, mostly ex-Chardonnay, imparts seductively rich color, smoothness, and length to this new generation brand. I'm going to have to get that. I think I'm going to have to get that. Annette, you want purple gin? There are a few options. And yeah, it is more expensive than normal gin. I think the purple gin. I don't know if that's just the wind or is that Mimsy trying to get in the door there? Can never tell. Sometimes it's just like a breeze in the house makes the sliding door there rattle a bit. And sometimes it's Mimsy saying, why aren't I the center of attention? Let me in. No. Okay, the curiosity is killing me. I want to quickly go and look. It's Mimsy. Mimsy wants to come in. All right, come and sit on your tree. For some reason, and I've said this before, I'm pretty sure. Going to come up and say hello? Come up here. Yeah, sharpen your claws first. I'm sure I've said this before. For some reason, that's my working from home workstation. Kirsten, I never turn the fridges off. I just got bold and decided I wasn't turning the fridges off. And because I've started putting music under my videos, and I thought if there's fridge noise, I'll just put music there. Mimsy's come to say hello. All right, I'm going to turn it around a bit so you can say hello properly, Mimsy. Yes? I'll come over here so I can give you a scratch. You want a scratch? What do you want to do? You silly. Thank you so much for telling me to turn them back on, though. What are you doing? So, yeah, my workstation from working from home is just there. And for some reason, she's really fixated with sitting on my lap. When nowhere else is she really into sitting on my lap. She doesn't mind it, but when I'm sitting there, oh, you're going to come up, you're going to make me a liar, you're going to jump on my lap now? Looks like she wants to. Come on, what are you doing? You can jump up. What are you doing? Being weird. Weird cat. But twice in the last couple of days, normally I realize when she's there and she wants to jump up on my lap and I let her. Twice in the last couple of days, I haven't realized she's right next to me. And just when I was starting an online meeting, she jumped into my lap and bloody half scared me to death. Didn't you? Up to no good, Miss Mimsy. So that was new, that she stealth jumped in my lap while I was having a meeting. Cheeky bloody cat. You're a cheeky bloody cat. Yes, I might go back to Dan's because I've actually used up a couple of things. I've got a little bit of brain. I'm thinking of making another milk punch for the weekend. I'm going to use up the rest of the it's Jim Beam. I have, is it Jim Beam bourbon and the Napoleon brandy, and make some milk punches. And I've got the Starward to replace the bourbon, Australian whiskey. And yeah, I think I'll get an Australian brandy to replace the other brandy. I still have some French cognac and Armagnac. But I think it's time to give Australian brandy a go. So that would be really broadened. So then I've got Australian gins, Australian whiskey, Australian vermouths, Australian liqueur, blackberry liqueur. I've got to get an Australian curacao, orange curacao. Ha! Annette, Zorro showed his bumhole to the paediatrician on telehealth the other day. Cats will do that. Suffer, does Mimsy like cocktails? Mimsy likes bacon, don't you? You got very excited the other day when I was chopping up bacon and I dropped a bit on the floor and you'd never really had bacon before and you sniffed it and you weren't sure. You thought, that smells pretty good. And then you had a little nibble and then you went, this is fucking awesome. And she just went absolutely ham. And yeah, she just went for it. Safa, what does brandy taste like? See, that's really subjective. Brandy is distilled from fruit. You get all sorts of brandy. I've got an apple brandy over there. Schnapps is basically a brandy. So a brandy can be from a whole range of fruits. Classically, brandy is grape-based. It's distilled grapes. And I was reading a really funny thing, actually, about cognac, the really fancy stuff from France. The base wine that cognac is distilled from is basically regarded as undrinkable. So it's a distilled wine. So it has those wine fruit notes. But I'm like really shitty at describing booze tastes, actually. But that's it. Noog, how you going, man? Nice to see you. So, Opie's a Ponce likes prosciutto. Nice. She now also gets very excited if I'm chopping up chicken because she's hoping I drop something. So, it's really interesting. Like, the more I drink these martinis, I was assuming I would like the one with the sweet vermouth more because the brandy was less strong. I mean, the gin was less strong. And it is good. And it really showcases the vermouth. Like, even though it's like 4-1 gin to vermouth, it doesn't need any more vermouth. The vermouth would really overpower it. But this one, the Navy strength that I was a bit scared of, it's like, this is a real wake up your palate drink. And it feels, you get that alcohol warm going down, but it's not like, oh my God, the alcohol. I mean, okay, if you weren't a spirit drinker, that would be too much. It would absolutely be too much for a non-spirit drinker. But I quite like it. Noog with the internet memes. Miss Mimsy wants little chicken as a treat. A little chicken as a treat is okay. Just this thing where she starts to fall asleep while she's sitting there, and her head starts to nod, so it looks like she's listening to music. So, how much percent would I take from sponsoring drinks? Man, I live for the day. I've got enough of a profile that distillers want to give me free booze. I'm a whore. Give me free booze, and I'll put it on the channel and say, "Oh, this stuff's good." Oh, yeah. This really wakes up your. They are not in a really aggressive way. I'm surprised that it's not more aggressive. Like, you really know you are drinking an overproof gin with this, but you may notice it's not making me choke. It's not making me go, oh my God. It's just really sort of, whoa, it's a real fucking drink. This is a real fucking drink. There's why some people like martinis, because traditionally it's just fucking booze, man. Particularly if you get it dry, so it's mostly gin or vodka. So you're mostly drinking booze, spirits, maybe, cutting it a little bit with vermouth. Or the most extreme, if you make a Vesper the way I made it, the Vesper is 3 parts gin to 1 part vodka to half a part. In the Bond movie, he says Quina Lillet, which is not actually made anymore. The same maker makes Lillet Blanc, and they say it's the same. Other people argue it isn't. But there's a whole bunch of similar aromatized fortified wines you can substitute. So when I made a Vespa, I substituted it with Cochi Americano, which a lot of people claim is closer to the original taste of Quina Lillet than Lillet Blanc is. But who fucking knows? Fucking booze and cocktails is so tied up in folklore and competing stories and whatnot. L3, have I got you thinking about a martini? Sorry? Nice! Kirsten, got your first free bottle of booze and did a dance. I like it. So I work like Homer Simpson with a red-nosed bird touching a button on my keyboard to say I'm still working. I like that idea. Line Spider, you did a Wombat video of Vegemite alcohol where you stirred a little Vegemite in a glass of vodka. Oh, dude, I went so much further than that. I fucking put spoonfuls of Vegemite into vodka and let it infuse for days, so that flavor really permeated the vodka. I still have some of it because it's so fucking appalling I can't drink it. Vegemite vodka is still in. God, it must be like 2 years ago I made it. 2 years, a long time ago. And it is not good. It is not good. I actually made it palatable martini. That's what made it palatable. I had my friend Josh over. This video is on my YouTube channel, on the Angry Aussie channel. I don't remember when. It's like from 2 years ago, a year or two ago anyway. We drank it straight, and it's just fucking awful. We tried a couple things, but what made it basically palatable was making a martini with vermouth. And they have better quality vermouth now, so maybe it would taste even better. But I definitely, I think I would go 50-50 with the vermouth and the Vegemite. Maybe I could make a Vespa martini with like 3 ounces of gin, 1 ounce of Vegemite vodka, and half an ounce of the Coke Americano. Yes, musical aviator. Dan Andrews is pretty funny. We've been talking about that. Why would you go to Adelaide? Stay here. No, pretty funny. Again, he's just trying to distract from the drama. He's trying to create a little bit of controversy that's quite meaningless to distract from the serious controversy that he's facing. Oh, yes, Line Spider. That's right. There was that bullshit, really racist article saying Indigenous people were using Vegemite to make alcohol because there is yeast, but Vegemite's a yeast extract. So technically yeast is a core element on fermenting, and there were these bullshit, really racist articles going around about people making, what do they call it? There's a name for prison hooch, pruno, which is made by fermenting. You need sugar and yeast, basically. So it's usually made by fermenting fruit peel. Yes, the wrong ratios in pruno will send you blind. Oh, no, what did Dan do? Because South Australia still wants to close their border and said something about definitely not letting people from Victoria in because of the recurring cases of the Rona in Victoria. And Dan had a press conference and said, well, I don't want to be too mean to the people of South Australia, but why would you want to go there anyway? Which was pretty funny. It's just shit stirring. Dingle Doty, Vegemite is in the same spectrum as Marmite, definitely. They taste noticeably different. I think Marmite tastes a bit meatier, a bit more like gravy, and Vegemite's a bit saltier. Yeah, but Marmite and Vegemite are definitely on the same spectrum. They're a very salty yeast extract sandwich spread. I don't have Vegemite very often, but I like it. Having said this is not getting to me, I think I inhaled at the wrong time while that was going down my throat. Now my eyes are watering. That's good. Ooh, Kirsten, Archie Rose made a spirit that was called Not Vegemite. Clarified butter and bread. It was, I heard it. I think the Wiggs cellar in the city where if I want to get something, someone was asking me, I think it was Safa was asking me which booze shop I go to, and for ordinary shit, I go to Dan Murphy's. But if I want to get something special, I will go to either the Wiggs cellar in the city or the Bitters Lab in Fitzroy. They're the cocktail specialists. Archie Mite, yes, I'm sure the Wiggs cellar in the city had Archie Mite. They have hundreds of gins in there. I love Kirsten, love the Wiggs cellar. The dude who runs it is so friendly. I mean, I've been buying from him for years. Safa, I saw that Sunrise are actually facing legal action for racial vilification, which they fucking deserve. They're trash. Well, you want to go for the Thursday night gin tastings? I see they're doing the tastings online now. I was always tempted to go to their Thursday night tastings, but it's like, oh God, then I've got to get home. I've got to get home on public transport and I'll probably be drunk, which is not my favorite thing. Safa, oh god, there are craft beer places in Fitzroy. There are distilleries in Fitzroy. The Bitters Lab is a cocktail lover's fucking paradise. Annette, you want to know what Sunrise did? Let me look up the story for you. Sunrise racial vilification. Okay. Here we go. Sunrise and Prue McSween is fucking garbage. She is fucking filth. Segment titled Aboriginal Adoption saw commentator Prue McSween suggest Aboriginal children should be removed from families just like the first stolen generation. Channel 7 presenter Samantha Armitage and radio personality Prue McSween are being sued in the federal court over a controversial Sunrise segment. Led by Aboriginal elder Auntie Rhonda Dixon Grosvenor, 8 complainants have taken their case to the courts after they say settlement negotiations broke down. They're fucking filth. Sunrise are fucking filth. Locust Trooper Buddy, bit late, but in time to say hello. Nice to see you. Yes, Philip, their comments about Stolen Generation 2.0 were fucking gross. That's an interesting one, Safi. If Mumstown lost 60 workers for the Westgate tunnel workers. Oh, yes, I did. I know that's a particular thing of yours, Locust Trooper. It's a big thing. The India was saying it's like 20 or more Indian soldiers killed in a clash with China. Oh, Safa. Sunrise Sky News is so much worse. Your stepdad watches Sky News. So he's the one. No one else watches it. It's your stepdad is their one viewer. So I'm thinking about, okay, so I restocked my chartreuse, which was run out. I've restocked whiskey. I'm about out of cachaça, which I would like to replace. And I need to get an orange curacao. And I want to get Australian. Definitely getting Australian. Oh, good. You know, okay. What was that Tasmanian one called again, Kirsten? Because I was really tempted by them. I was just going to go to like the Bitters Lab and get a Marionette orange curacao because that's like easy. Oh no, Annette, I can't chuck you a lemon through the screen. I actually was in Coles today and they had some lemons on special. So I shall be juicing a bunch of lemons and I'm going to peel them and make some more what's called oleosaccharin, which is sugar oil. And what it is, because all the oils are in the surface of the skin, you peel the skin and then sprinkle like caster sugar, superfine sugar over it. And over a period of 12 to 24 hours, the sugar sort of extracts the oils from the skin and turns into a syrup. And then you mix it with some hot water, so it's a bit more liquefied, and then strain out the rinds, and you've got this really citrusy sugar syrup. Yes, I could just go to the Bitters Lab. I was thinking, what, did the Bitters Lab have Knock Lofty? I was thinking of just going to the Bitters Lab to get Marionette, but there was some stuff that we were talking about with Knock Lofty that sounded really good. Obviously, they have their own curacao, but they also had a lime liqueur. Product overview. So explore your dark side with a black vodka. Cool. And they have gin and garden gin and juniper gin. Dark Carvey, an exquisite liqueur. It's a coffee one. Okay. Knock Lofty lime. That they had me intrigued with a lime liqueur, a vodka, an orange liqueur, a raspberry gin. Well, they have a liqueur taster. Now, see, they have the coffee one. I don't fucking like coffee, but it's got the lime and the orange, which is tempting. The sample pack. See, the coffee liqueur, if I bought that, that would last forever, because probably every now and then I'd put just like a dash in a cocktail to get a coffee note in there. Philip, was I an asshole? Was I not a critic of Thinnerbear then? Changed their choice. Oh, Sky is just the fucking worst. Sky is just terrible. Oh, sorry. I just saw Kirsten saying something really. What did Salumi say? How can I make Bombay? Boh. Okay. What was in these cocktails? I can't say Bombay. How do I make Bombay Sapphire taste drinkable? It's too bland for me. Do what I do. Get some citrus, peel it, and then steep the peel in the gin for a couple of days, and it will really kick it up with this really nice citrus flavor. I've done that with some Tanqueray over here, and also with some vodka. Locust Trooper. I like the concept of 3D printing. I've never really got into it. Philip Wong, I've never watched Sky News. Maybe they've got progressively worse, but they're fucking terrible now. Annette's searching for a lemon. So, Kirsten, I don't know if you answered me. Well, okay, you know what I could do? I could look up the fucking website for the Bitters Lab and see what they have in stock. The Bitter Slab. About us. Shop online. And that puts me through to Only Bitters, which if you want to fucking explore bitters, go to onlybitters.com. Fucking great. I've bought so many bitters from them. Tonics, shrubs, syrups, liqueurs, specialty liqueurs. Okay, so they got Mac, which is fucking great. A walnut liqueur. Ugh. A coffee liqueur. Fuck that. Chartreuse elixir végétal. Genevieve. Falernum. This is the weird thing. You'd think Dan Murphy's would be cheaper, but the Bitters Lab is actually the cheapest place to get Velvet Falernum, which is really good for fucking tropical drinks. It's basically a rum liqueur. So they've got Marionette, Amaretto, brandy liqueur, Cassis, Grozel, Mure, which I have, orange curacao, which I was thinking of getting, peach liqueur, Gentian, Bitter Truth. I do like Bitter Truth stuff. I've got Bitter Truth Pimento Dram. I got that from the Bitters Lab because they're like the only ones who stock it. And Jesus, that is good in cocktails. Pimento Dram is good in cocktails. No, okay, they don't have Knock Lofty. So I'm kind of torn. Holy shit, Locust Trooper, you've got a $2,000 3D printer. Fucking hell, man. I'd probably go to town on that. Like, I like it as a concept, but I've never really got into 3D printing. A couple of my friends have, but yeah. Ooh, see, Illumi, you've got lemons that need picking. Definitely pick them, peel them. You a fairly shallow peel. You want to avoid pith as much as possible because it'll make it bitter. So just really peeling the surface skin off, infuse that in the Bombay Sapphire, and it will fucking kick it up a notch. Or do the thing that I'm going to do as well for mixed drinks, get a really nice sugar syrup, peel a bunch of lemons, sprinkle caster sugar on them, and wait for a while. And the sugar leaches all the oils out of the skins and makes a syrup. And then you add some hot water, mix it up, strain out the peel, and you've got this really zesty citrus sugar syrup, which is so fucking good for mixed drinks. So if you want to 3D print a cocktail, you can 3D print confectionery. So you could print some interesting elements for a cocktail. Oh, Lucas Trooper, please, for reals, dude, if you've got a 3D printing channel on Facebook and YouTube, like send me the link on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or whatever. Send me the link, man, because I would be really interested to see it. Because like I said, I'm interested in it as a concept. I've never actually done it. And if you're getting really into it, I would actually be really keen to see what you're doing. But having said that, it's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock. So I have to make... Oh, David, coming in to say good day. I'm saying good evening to you, my man. Yeah, Sir Lumi, do some lemon syrup. Yeah. Fucking go to town. Also, if you want some fun ideas, that thing I was talking about with the citrus sugar syrup, which is called oleosaccharum, look at the website Trash Tiki, as in T-I-K-I, as in Tiki Drinks. I think the website's actually called trashtikisucks.com. I love their attitude. They're very argumentative. But yes, just search Trash Tiki because they're into not wasting stuff, and they have multiple suggestions for reusing bits of fruit that you might normally throw out after you've juiced the fruit. So yeah. Philip, I agree. What you use a 3D printer for is important. That's why I want to see what Locust Troop is doing. I'm very keen to see what he's doing. Yes, Mingsy's gone bye-byes now. Good night, all. I'll probably be here tomorrow night. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't be here tomorrow night. And then Friday night is fucking martini night. I mean, I did make the martinis tonight, but I want to play with some variations on martini. Particularly, I have an idea of using the Okar Gold for its links to Gentian, which is like a precursor of gin. So Friday night's probably gonna be a fucking party night. We'll see what happens. But look after yourself, one and all. You're fabulous people. Thank you for spending time with me. I hope to spend some time with you again soon. But I will say bye for now.